Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Freedy Crossing and Friends. I am Freedy here with my partner and co-host Oil Can Boyd, aka Logan. What is up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
So we were told today that you guys would like us to rank the island themes and give you guys our opinions of the best villagers for each theme. So we spent some time getting all this stuff together, and we have a list of 14 different themes, and obviously there are countless numbers. The pink can be a theme, but we weren't going to go through all those. So we picked the ones that we thought were pretty popular and everybody would kind of recognize. These are our opinions, so if you don't agree with us, we apologize in advance. Hopefully you'll understand why we pick certain things. And if you have a difference of opinion, just drop us a comment, let us know what you think, and we'll see where we agree and where we disagree. So Logan, you kind of excited about this one, or what are you thinking?
I mean, it'll get some ideas kicking. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty fun, and hopefully we agree with you guys. You guys agree with us, and everything. So hopefully this video won't take too terribly long. So let's get into it. The first type that we decided on here would be like movie core. So if you're doing a theme of Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, stuff like that, I personally think that those are kind of B tier. They're kind of neat, pretty hard to do, but you're left to be very rigid. So if you're doing a movie theme and you're doing, Lord of the Rings, then you kind of have to stay pretty strict with the movies. It takes a lot out of it. Now, they're very, very creative. Some of them are extremely well done. And I enjoy, seeing some of the ones that are really well done. But I feel like you lose a lot of flexibility. What do you think, Logan?
I think it's the same. Like what I've been doing, it's kind of the same. And you really have to stick to one straight path. You can't really.
Yeah, there's not a lot of variance or creativity you can do with it. I mean, there is, obviously, because you can do different scenes and different this and different that. But you're pretty relegated to what you got to do. Also, due to the fact that there's an infinite number of movies, we can't really say which are the best villagers for it on this video, because if you're doing Harry Potter, it's going to be extremely different than if you're doing Red Dawn. And I might have just dated myself. A lot of you younger people probably don't even know what Red Dawn is, but Wolverines. If you get a chance, watch it. It's amazing. All right, so now we'll move on to the next one, which is Spring/Farm Core. I think this one is a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. I think Spring/Farm is an A tier for me. What do you think, Logue?
I think I agree because you can get a lot of colors and.
Yeah, you can kind of run it into the cherry blossom and go one direction, or more towards the farming and planting. So there's a whole lot that you can do there. The 10 best villagers that we came up with for Spring/Farm Core are Ava, an amazing chicken. And what says spring or farm more than chickens running around? Patty the cow, she's a lot of fun on it. Bunny, who is just amazingly adorable. Agnes the pig, got to have pig on a farm. Goose, another chicken, a white chicken. Sherb, the goat. He goats are going to be pretty common on a farm. Chevre, another goat, who's adorable. Gala, another female pig, who's adorable. Maddie or Daisy, and Shep, because you got to have a dog. Got to have dogs on farms. So those were the 10 best villagers that we thought of, and we figured that they worked really good for spring or for farm. Some of them lean a little more towards farm, some a little more towards spring. If you're doing something with the cherry blossom, as far as that for your spring build, obviously you would change that up a little bit, but we weren't focused on simply cherry blossom, but maybe a season and theme that goes through the cherry blossom. Anything you want to add on that one, buddy?
I think that does seem like a good lineup for a nice farm spring theme.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Next we have winter core. To me, winter core is kind of like spring core. I think it's a solid A. You have quite a bit of flexibility and stuff. I like the aesthetic of the snow. I think the winter's fun. What about you?
I think it's fun too. You got your animals that fit right in with that kind of core, and I like the snow in the game too.
Yeah, I think it looks good. So the villagers that we have is Eric or Bo. Either one of those you almost have to have. Fauna, they just go so well together. Flurry, the little white hamster who's adorable. Wade, who is my favorite penguin in the game. Francine, cute little bunny. Wolfgang or Lobo, either one of those, super, super good. Marshall is a white squirrel. It's perfect. Hans is a Yeti. I don't know if you can possibly have winter without the Yeti. Maple, she's beyond adorable in her little Christmas tree sweatshirt. And Sherb makes another appearance because he's adorable and he works perfectly with his little sweatshirt too. Thoughts?
I don't feel like I could have a winter theme without Maple.
Yeah. She's just adorable, and her little Christmas tree shirt. It's a perfect match, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is one of my favorites. The spooky / Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday. I think it's amazing. It's a lot of fun. It is a little bit limited, particularly with the items that you have in the game. There's the whole spooky set. But aside from that, you've got to get pretty creative. The jail bars and the the stuff. So there is things that you can do. It's a solid A for me. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's S tier, but I think it's a solid A.
Seems fair.
And the villagers are actually pretty good for it. You have Cherry the dog, who, she's super, super great. Lucky is a little mummified dog. Rodeo, the possessed, bull, or excuse me, cow. I guess Rodeo is a bull. I don't remember exactly. Matilda, I think this is the only scenario in which you can put a kangaroo on your island and it be okay. Ruby, her and her little demon eyes. Kiki's a black cat. Gotta have her. Hopper, super good. Coco, those little black eyes just look like she's peering into your soul. Cobb, a pig that almost looks like a zombie. And Pietro, which once again, I think this is the only scenario in which you can have that evil clown on your island. Anything you differ with, Logue, or
No, seems pretty good.
all right. So the next one, single species. I've wanted to do a single species island for a while. I've yet to do one. You're going to be pretty limited what you can do with single species. I think this is probably just a C. I still want to try one. I think it would be a lot of fun. But you're limited. You're extremely limited. So for me, for that reason, I'm gonna give it a C. What do you think?
Yeah, because I don't I don't think you can have the looking at the same face or features for too long. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
It'd probably like a few day ordeal thing for me.
yeah. I don't think I would want it for overly long either. Instead of listing villagers for this, what we did was we picked a few species that would be good for single species or the best. And the way we came up with these was ones that had enough to where you could do all 10 and had enough good ones to where, or at least relatively good ones to where, you didn't have to have some real stinkers on your island. So what we came up with was the deer, the squirrel, the wolf, cats, dogs, ducks, cubs, or frogs. And some of those are are cutting it a little tight. Like, there is a lot of frogs, but to say that there's 10 good frogs, it's that's kind of cutting it tight. But I think those are going to be your best species if you want to try a single species. So that's my opinion on that.
The mice didn't make your list, reading.
The mice did not make my list because Rod, I think, is just about the only one that I would ever have on my island, and even then, it would be short lived.
Because
So,
I know you
yep,
love mice.
yeah, exactly. Okay, the next one is Kidcore, and there are a ton of villagers that would be great for Kidcore. I've never had the desire to do a Kidcore island, and I doubt I ever will. However, I would have any of these villagers on my island, um, because the villagers are so good. I think there's quite a lot that you could do with Kidcore, actually. So even though I don't love it personally, and I would never really want to do it, I still think it's an A ranking because there's just so much that you can do, and there's so many really good villagers that would fit. What do you think, Logan?
Yeah, like I just like when I rank cores for me, it's all about the colors. Because like,
Hmm.
who wants to see a bland island? So Kid Core, you can make some pretty good islands with it.
Possibilities are virtually endless.
Yeah.
This one was hard, and actually, I came up with 11 because I couldn't narrow the list down to 10. Um, and there's another 10 that you could easily put on this list. So we'll probably get some hate mail on this one. But the 11 that we put on here was Dizzy, Judy, who I don't love, but she's perfect for Kidcore, Stitches, Hugh, Filbert, Jeremiah, Hornsby, Ketchup, Apple, Blue Bear, and Bob. Um, And like I said, there's so many more that you could do, but Disney's just this adorable little elephant. Stitches is a teddy bear. Hugh is this little pig with two different color eyes and a little camo shirt. Filbert is one of the cutest little guys in the game, little squirrel. Jeremiah is my favorite frog in the game. Hornsby, um, just they're all so good. Apple, ketchup. I can't think of anything wrong with any of the Kid Core villagers, really.
I'm glad Filbert made it on your list.
There was no way that Filbert couldn't make it on that list. He's an S tier villager, and he's perfect for Kid Core. Like his little house, he's got his little kid house virtually with his little moons in it and stuff. He's amazing. Which brings us to the Japanese themed islands. This one was kind of tough for me, because I think aesthetically they look good. I like to see them, but I would never even attempt it. It's just not anything that I think I could do effectively. And I don't love the villagers is the biggest part. That kind of go with the theme. So for me, this one was kind of tough. What do you think about the Japanese core islands, Logan?
I mean, like you said, like some of them look really, really good, but like on the villager side of things, you're right. It is kind of hard to.
And I think because the villagers are so difficult and to get to work, I think I'm going to drop it down to a B, even though the aesthetics of the island, I've seen some that are very S plus. But I think it needs to be in B just because, there's a handful of villagers that are really, really good. And then you got to kind of just fill in with things that sort of work. And here are the villagers that we've got. Genji, who is perfect, is amazing and works really, really well. Kabuki, obviously, that little cat works great. Ken, the chicken, oddly enough, has, he's like this karate master and has the perfect house. Drago is a dragon, and his house is perfect. Hamfrey is one of my favorite villagers in the game, and his house works really good. Chow's house works great, but Chow is a real piece of trash villager. He's horrible, but his house is very Japanese themed. Pinky, it's a pink, panda bear, pandas and all that. So it works. Midge has these little Japanese designs on her face. There is a meaning behind it. I don't remember. Pico, she's adorable. Little cub, she's perfect. And then I thought Dobie. He's, grandpa, sophisticated, and while his house isn't necessarily Japanese, I think it could work. So that was what came up with for the Japanese themed. Anything you want to add about the Japanese themed islands?
I think the one that I had in mind was Chai, and that made it on the list. So
yeah. All right. So now we're going to get to these next two are very similar. I broke them down into two separate categories because I've done both, and they were different, even though they're kind of similar. The first one is going to be Jungle Core. Yes, I am going to be biased on this one, but I think Jungle Core is our first S. There's so many animals that are indigenous to jungles. So that gives you a whole lot of villagers, a range of villagers to choose from. Um, there's so much growth in jungles. So there's so many little critters. So you can use like all of the little models of the bugs and the butterflies and the scorpions and the tarantulas, and you can use the flick toys, the centipedes, and there's almost nothing that you can do wrong on a jungle build. Like you take seaweed, throw it on the ground. It's absolutely perfect. It works brilliantly. Mushroom, just drop it anywhere you want. It's perfect. Go shake a coconut tree wherever they fall. It's amazing. So there's so many different things you can do. There's so many different items you can use. You know, jungle dig sites, for archaeological sites, incorporating the statues and stuff. So since there's so much that you can do, and there's so many birds that you can use and everything, to me that makes it our first S tier. What do you think?
Yeah, it makes it pretty versatile, and whatever villagers that you favor, you can easily work them into your island.
Hmm. Totally agree. And I do think that we will probably have a little flack on some of them that I picked for the jungle. So here are our 10. And I expect there to be some differences in opinions here. Drift, little poison dart frog, I think is amazing. Lily, another frog, she's absolutely adorable and works on almost every level and every theme. Rasher the pig, face is a little scarred up. Jungles have, wild boars in them, works beautifully. Flora, she's a little flamingo. I think it's perfect, even though I don't love her. Julia, the peacock, she's amazing. Biff, the hippo, he's amazing for it. Here's where I think people will disagree with me, but I will explain. I picked Antonio, the anteater. In a vacuum, he's probably the best anteater, but the anteaters are not strong. I don't love the anteaters. However, jungles have anteaters. And then, having the termite mounds in the game from Flick, there's just some really cool things you can do. So that's why I put Antonio in here. Tucker, he's a woolly mammoth, so he's no longer really existent, but he's dressed in like a little Fred Flintstone jungly outfit and has like Stonehenge and jungle stuff in his house. He fits and works really well. Rowan the tiger, he looks like Tony the tiger. Tigers live in the jungle. And then I put Simon the monkey. Not my favorite monkey, but not a bad one, and he works really well in the jungle. Any disagreements, Log?
No, I think my list would consist of mostly frogs.
Yeah, and whenever I did my very first jungle build, it turned into 7 frogs and 1 hippo and 2. Actually, it turned into 6 frogs, 1 hippo, and 3 alligators, and basically became one big swamp. But it was a fun build. That was my first attempt at jungle. Yeah, the frogs are good. The next one, similar to jungle, but tropical. And I separated them because, to me, when I think tropical, I'm thinking island, Bermuda, places like that, Jamaica, not necessarily jungle-y areas. I know that they're similar, but I think there's enough difference to where we can break these two apart. the tropical, I think you have a little bit less flexibility than you do with the jungle. My favorite build that I ever did was my tropical themed island. But I do think it's got to be a step down from jungle. So for that, I think we'll drop that down to A from S. And the list there's some similarities, a couple, but it's slightly different. So here are the villagers that I thought were the 10 best. One, Julia. So she made it on both lists. Flora, she made it on both lists. And Lily made it on both lists. So those three, I think, whether you're doing jungle or tropical, they're must-haves. And then the different ones that I had were Bob, who is just rocking his little, tropical shirt, hanging out, catching some rays, laid back. Audie, she's got her sunglasses on, very beach themed house. Gotta have her. June is the same. She's rocking her, beach gear, her little sundress. She's absolutely perfect. Flip, Lyman, the koala, he works amazing in tropical. Bud, I think, is amazing. The lion, but he's this like surfer dude, total laid back, fits right in. And then the frog Tad. So 2 frogs in both, but slightly different ones. I think Tad works better in the tropical, and Drift in the jungle.
So you think the tropical is more of a personality than the actual
Yeah,
villager then?
kind of. Like whenever I do the jungle stuff, I guess I think more of the animals that are indigenous to jungle life. And the tropicals, because of the way they designed Audie and the way they designed June and Bob and Bud, obviously those animals aren't really what you think of when you think of Bora Bora. But you do think of this laid back, wearing, these pineapple aloha shirts and just kind of, having your sunglasses on and the tiki stuff. And so due to their houses, their attire, and their attitudes, I think they fit the tropical really, really well. And I don't think that they necessarily fit jungle. You know,
Makes sense.
so that's how we came up with that. All right. So that brings us to Fairy Core. I like to see fairy / medieval / Disney islands. I would never build one. I I think I think there's probably more flexibility there in the builds than I realize. I've not watched a lot of Disney movies or fairy movies in my life, so to me, it's a very narrow, um, a narrow window of things that fit into it, so to speak. So for me, it would be a D. But I think it's probably B tier because there's probably a lot more than I realize. I don't know. What do you think? What are your opinions on that?
I think I'd at least put it as C because I feel like there's a lot of window of opportunity there.
Yeah, that's what I said. I feel like it's probably B class. Just my scope of knowledge on the subject is very limited. So when I run it through my head, it seems like the things you can do, you're limited, and that's I'm sure not the case. We throw it in B or C. You choose.
Throw it in C.
Okay. And this was a difficult task as well. So I'm probably going to have these villagers all messed up, and feel free to correct me in the comments. Um, but the 10 that I came up with was Sterling, Eagle Knight guy, Knox, the Chicken Knight guy, Colton. He looks like he's a horse and looks like what I think the good guy's horse should look like. Cookie, she's adorable, pink dog. Judy, Chai and Tia, the two elephants. I think that if you were doing fairy Disney stuff, you'd have to have them. Chelsea the deer. She seems fairy-ish to me. Chrissy, the little pink and white bunny, and then Julian the unicorn. So if you have an opinion on that, feel free to let me know. Logan, what's your opinion on that, buddy?
What about Miltank, the purple cow?
Who?
I have her on my island.
A purple cow?
I swear to God, there's a purple cow.
There's a pink cow, Naomi.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. I meant pink. Pink cow.
I don't know. Does just being pink mean that you fit?
Yeah.
If so, then I guess we could throw her in there. I don't know who to knock out, but Chelsea. Bye, Chelsea.
I think just being pink will just it matches the theme. Or am I wrong?
You think Vladimir, the pink cranky cub, works for Fairy Core?
Probably not because it's cranky, but I think a cow, I think would fit.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from.
I might be wrong, but whatever.
No, I mean, I could be just as wrong. I have no idea. Like I said, my scope of knowledge on the Fairy Core stuff is not good.
Apparently, my scope of villagers isn't very good either.
Nice.
I'm more. Okay. I guess I'm more on aesthetics than.
And personalities and everything.
That's probably mostly because my vision on villagers is very narrow.
Right.
I don't have that much experience with them, so I just do it this way until I figure out the majority of them. Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay, the next one is one of my favorites. If not my favorite. This or Jungle is definitely going to be my favorite. But Forest Core is what's next. I think Forest Core is a solid S. Once again, there's a plethora of villagers. There's so many different things you can do. You can do Forest Core and have a ski lodge. You can do Forest Core and have a city, a village, type thing. You can do so much with forest, in my opinion. There's so much life and variation in the forest. So for me, I think forest is another S.
That'd be my opinion also, because you can do a lot with the forest theme. Not with only the villagers, but how you lay it out and what you do with that forest. Some of the trees, some of the trees are just beautiful.
Yeah, I totally love it. And with the villagers, since there is so many that you could do, we narrowed it down. So first and foremost, obviously Marshall. He's a squirrel and the best villager in the game. So he obviously works great for Forest. Eric or Bo, either one is really good again. Fauna is really good again. Blair or Pecan, two adorable, amazing little squirrels. Lily again makes the list. She, frogs in the forest, and she's just adorable. Boris or Rasher, both pigs, they work really, really good. Boris's house doesn't work for Forest, so I would lean towards Rasher, but Boris's look is really good if you get him out of his, desert Egyptian clothes. Agnes or Gala, the pigs, amazing. Wolfgang, the wolf, is perfect. Grizzly, it's the forest. You need a bear, and he's really good. And then Blue Bear, a cub, and she's one of the more adorable in the game. I know there was a whole bunch in there because some of them were this one or that one. But there's so much that works for the forest. I thought we would try to give you a few more options because it's so hard to say Blair over Pecan or Agnes over Gala. So that was why there was a few more. Bo over Eric. Those are tough choices. Did I miss any, Log?
No, seems like a solid list. Have a deer, bear. All the big
squirrel, frog, wolf, like it just, and you have so much leeway. Maybe you absolutely love Whitney. A white wolf works perfectly well in the forest. So that's why I think forest is an S, because there's just so much you can do. So the next one is going to be a bit of a hot take here, and it's probably not going to be a popular opinion. It is cottagecore. My opinion of cottagecore is it's a D. And I need to explain that because there is as much leeway with and room to do things with cottagecore as there is in forest or jungle. Like there's a million things you could do. Cottagecore is all about, just making sure every single spot on your island is covered. The reason I say cottagecore is a D is because it's the most overplayed core in the game, and it's so overplayed that people are almost embarrassed to have it now. You can go watch some really amazing designers and YouTubers, and they're still building cottagecore, but they throw 3 trees in it and call it forest core because they're ashamed to say they're still doing cottagecore. So if these people who are fabulous at it are so kind of, ashamed to do it and don't want their stuff to be labeled it, then to me that has to knock it down. And it has to knock it all the way down. There is endless possibilities with it, and I understand that, but I just think it's ran its course. A good way to know if you're doing cottagecore or not is if you put a barrel and a leaf pile in every single one of your builds, even if it's inside of your house, you're cottagecore. So if you don't know what you got kicking, that's a good way to tell. I know that's going to be an unpopular opinion. Logan, what do you think about it?
That makes sense. If people want to shy away from it, then I guess
two YouTubers who I'm not going to mention, but they are 2 of the most talented designers that I've seen. Their stuff is gorgeous. The stuff that they do is amazing. But literally both of them build these elaborate cottagecore builds. One of them is calling their spring core and one of them is calling it forest core. And literally they're both cottagecore. Like, the one doing forest put 4 extra trees on their island and said, "Oh, this is a forest now," and I'm like, okay. And then one this spring literally didn't change anything except for the color of their flowers. Every build had barbed wire, and oddly enough, we did a build just today where I used barbed wire and barrels. Uh oh, I'm in trouble
It
here.
looks like you
But
found your core.
yeah, but every single build they do, and their stuff looks great. I don't know why they don't just own it, but if the two people that I think do that core the best don't even want to claim it, I think it has to fall down to D tier. And here were the villagers that I came up with that I think are the best. I think Marshall, because he's a squirrel and amazing. Pecan, Ava the chicken again, Benedict or Goose, either one. Those can work. Maddie, the dog, she's amazing. Shep, once again, makes the list on here. Lolly, who is just an amazing cat. Rudy, who's another cat who I don't think gets as much love as he deserves. And I don't think we gave him as much love as he deserves in our ranking video, but I think Rudy is perfect for cottagecore. Sherb again, and then Nan, the little black goat. I think those are perfect. Any differences?
I think anyone from the Farmer Spring could work pretty well in the cottagecore, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, that brings us to City Core. I think the City Core builds are absolutely amazing. I don't think I could ever do one. I don't think I have the skill set for it. I think they're an S tier just because, once again, you have a whole wide range of things you can do. You can do that dystopian, city. You can do just a normal city that you would see today. There's so many items in the game that can be used. I feel like there's really a lot of options, and I think it's probably the hardest build to actually do. So I think anybody that's tackling that, you should get a few extra bonus points as well. Cities are tough.
Yeah, it does take skill to do, and I think sometime I would like to try it, but I guess we'll only see then how it goes.
Yeah, I've tried it sort of. I decided that I was going to do a little neighborhoody, shoppy, get off the airplane city feel, and after a couple days of just banging my head against the wall, I said, "No, this is not for me." And I will try it again. Obviously, the more you play, the better you get at things and stuff. So I will try it again and hope for the best. So without further ado, that is going to bring us to the villagers. I think the 10 best villagers for city are Raymond. This is really the only build I feel like he actually fits into. His house is a work office, and he's walking around in his little suit all the time. So I feel like he actually fits into the cityscape. Marshall, super upscale. Diana, the deer, I think she is super upscale. Shep fits here. Blair, the little squirrel, is in here. You're gonna notice a lot of Smugs and Snooties. Rosie, she would work really good in City. A little peppy cat who's adorable. Robin, there's birds in the city, so I think she works on that level. Dobie again works here. Goldie, the dog, nice little golden retriever, works just about anywhere, I guess. And then I put Ribbot, who I would never want, but you can kind of see a little robot, frog bouncing around. So I thought that he would work really well in a city.
I feel like a lot of the domesticated animals would be working the city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously, or the birds. There's a whole lot of leeway and stuff that you could do there that would work pretty well. But that was what I thought was the best. Now that is going to bring us to our last one, and that's no core. So no core is obviously an S, because literally you can do whatever you want. This is an island simulator game where you get to have some cool neighbors. So having no core, you just doing whatever you want, whatever you think looks good, whatever makes you happy, with whichever villagers in the world you want, because you don't have a theme. I don't see what could be any better than no core. I think no core goes to the root of what this game is. It's a game that's designed to allow you to just play it how you want, to have who you want. Just have fun and not have constraints of leveling up or passing this level or scoring a goal or anything. So in my opinion, no core is the best core in the game. Logan?
I only say that because you don't have a core.
Logan, just answer the question. What do you think about no core?
I mean, do I technically have a core either?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not.
So what am I to say?
Yeah.
Or who am I to say?
You're supposed to say, that was very eloquently said. I could not agree with you more. That's what you're supposed to say.
I stick to what I said.
Okay, so obviously there still is 10 best villagers for no core. And the best way to tell you these 10 villagers are to just take the 10 best villagers in the game. So the 10 best villagers in the game and the 10 best villagers for no core are as follows. Marshall, who is the best villager overall. Eric, S tier. Hugh, S tier. Bob, S tier. Filbert, S tier. O, S tier. Audie, S tier. Blue Bear, Fauna, and Kiki. Those are the 10 best villagers in the game. And if you are doing no core, that is the correct answer of the villagers you should have.
I feel like this list is very biased.
It is. It is extremely biased. But it's going to be biased. This is an opinion video here, obviously.
I guess.
But yeah, so that is our list of cores, where they rank, and the villagers that we think you should take if you're doing those cores. or the best, and maybe not that you should take, but that are the best and that work the best with those themes and cores. Logan, want to add anything?
If you want to take anything from this video, it's if you're not doing it Freedy's way, it's probably the wrong way.
It's definitely the wrong way. Let's go ahead and correct that. If you're not doing it my way, it's definitely the wrong way. No, what you should take from the video is it's Animal Crossing. Have fun with it. These are just opinions, and if you don't agree with them, then don't take Rasher just because I tell you that he's how good he works for Jungle Core. But I will say this: if you take him in your Jungle Core and you give him a legitimate chance, you will love him. So
it's your island. You decorate it how you want.
There you go.
Throw the villages you want on it. Like you said earlier, it's an opinion video, so.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much. We're getting super close to 40 subscribers. We are extremely ecstatic about that. As per usual, we would like to thank the people that allow us to post in their Discord. CJ Ram, Maury Crossing, Mayor Maury, Tiger, Froggy Crossing, Nintentalk, Sienna Crossing. You guys are all so amazing. Thank you guys so much. We have a stream coming up on Saturday that will be Logan Villager hunting, and he has to react negatively to all of the good villagers and positively to all of the bad villagers. So it's going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be funny. We will see how that goes. We have a video that should be upcoming hopefully this week as well, with Logan doing some waterscapings on Dorito Den. And what else do you have going on over there? Waterscaping and some planting and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully that'll be this week as well. No promises. We're still trying to work out the details and get things figured out with his new schedule. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And have a good one. We hope to see you guys on the next one.
Have a good one.